Live a life that is worthy of emulation. Live a life that can attract somebody. Do you desire to be fruitful? The qualification for fruitfulness is that you must abide in him. It's hereby settled. When men shall say there is a casting down, you will announce that there is a lifting up. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all are standing right now, I want you to answer me sincerely. Does God promise and fail? I don't want you to be religious about this answer. I don't want you to be religious. Does God promise and fail? The truth? He doesn't promise and fail. Are you sure? You are very sure that he doesn't promise and fail. But he told me he will bless me. I'm sure he told me that he will bless me. I'm not too sure of your own, but I'm sure of my own. Are you sure of your own? Hear me. He promised me a blessing. I am sure he promised me a blessing. Brother, what is holding that blessing? He promised me a blessing. The question is, where is the blessing that God promised me? He told me that I'm going somewhere. He told me that I'll be so blessed that the blessed will say I'm blessed. He promised me that everything is going to work out well. But what is going on? What am I still waiting for? Do you have the same kind of question in your heart? All the sons and daughters of this commission all over the world, as you listen to this message through the YouTube, the internet, live streaming, hold on now. The word of God is coming, and it is coming with efficacy. It will bless you thoroughly. I want you to stay put. Walk with me. If you meet me in between the message, you will miss out. Stay put. See me when I pick it up, and see me when I drop it. Your life won't be the same again. God bless you. I love every one of you. God bless you. Put your hands together as you celebrate our brethren all over the world. They're encouraging us. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to approach the Bible not as a religious man, but as a theologian, and I want to approach the Bible the way it should be approached. Somebody very quickly turn to the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse number 5. Genesis chapter 2 and verse number 5. I asked the question, God promised me a blessing. He told me he is going to bless me. Now let us read. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth. Mark that word. Mark that word. Don't make mistake. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth. And every herb of the field before it grew. Mark that word. And then come to the main word now. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth. And why? There was not a man to till the ground. Hold on. The Lord had not caused it to rain. God wanted to send rain, but he withheld the rain because there was no man to till the ground. The Lord desired to release rain on the earth, but did not release the rain, not because he has no power to release rain, but because there was no man to till the ground. He desired to bless my family. He desired to answer my prayer. He wants to release a blessing, but he is withholding the blessing because there was no man to till the ground. The reason he did not release the rain is not because there is no power. Neither was it because there was no rain, but because there was no man to till the ground. Hold on, I'm coming. I will come back to it. But I want to blow your theology. This is Genesis chapter 2 verse 5. The Bible said there was no man to till the ground. Somebody run to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 and verse 28. I want to read. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 and 28. And it reads, so God, mark the word. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man. So God created the man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. 28. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Listen. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, the Bible told me that God created man. After that God created man, he blessed the man and commissioned the man. And in Genesis 2 verse 5, the Bible said there was no man to till the ground. If God created man in chapter 1 verse 27, how come in chapter 2 there was no man? Somebody answer me. I need my generation to give me answers. In chapter 1 he created man and blessed the man. In chapter 2 the Bible said there was no man. Then what happened? Every preacher, listen now. Talknado want to talk. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, my Bible said, and God created. I don't want to go into biblical exegesis, but if I am pushed to dig a little bit, oh, your word have I hidden in my heart. If I want to preach a little bit, I will tell you that the word created simply means that it was not done at the time of the report. He has done it before. So God created man in his image, and in the likeness of God created he him, male and female. But he did not create he and she, but he created him, but male and female. Oh, come on, somebody. I feel a preach coming on. The thing is pushing me, but I don't want to preach today. I come with a message. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, and God created man. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 5, there was no man to till the ground. But God created man in 27. Then what happened in chapter 2 verse 5 when there was no man to till the ground? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us look at the Bible very critically. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 and 28, the Bible told us how that God created man. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 5, the Bible said that God desired to send the rain but could not send the rain because there was no man. Then if there was no man, what happened to the man of Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 and 28? But I will tell you what happened to the man, and then we can move ahead. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, oh yeah, preachers, don't lose your mind. I will explain that scripture to you now. What God did in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 was to create man. After God created man, that man was not in view. The man existed, but the man was not seen. The man that God created in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 was a man, but existed inside of God. The man was not yet on earth. The man was not yet on earth. Why? That is the reason I once taught you that there is a creation of man and there is a making of man. There is a forming of man. The Bible said that man was created, but man was formed. When God created man, the man was in existence, but the man was existing inside of God. And because the man was existing inside of God, the man cannot be seen with the human flesh, because the man existed as a spirit. But there is need for the container that will carry the man. But the container that will carry the man had not come on board. And now, very quickly as I conclude, Genesis chapter 2 verse 7. We read chapter 2 verse 5 and he told us that there was no man to till the ground. Oh yeah, chapter 2 verse 7. It reads, and the Lord God formed man. Is it so in your Bible? Listen. Listen. And the Lord God formed man. How? Of the dust of the ground. And now listen. As at the time of Genesis chapter 2 verse 5, the man that was created in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 has not come on board. In verse 7 of Genesis chapter 2, he now formed man. After he formed man, he now lifted the man that was on the inside of him, that was created in chapter 1 verse 27, and put into him. And the Bible said he breathed into him and he became a living soul. So when he breathed into him, the man now came on board to till the ground, so it can now rain. What does that tell me, brother? Before my father knew my mother, I was already in existence. That was why he said to Jeremiah, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Yes, Papa. How will he know me? Because before I existed, I was in existence. Before I existed, before my father and my mother met, I was already existing. So I am not a product of chemical reaction. Neither am I a product of my father or my mother. He said, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I already already anointed you. So what I'm going to be, he has settled it before my father knew my mother. He knew I will preach at a time like this. He knew I will holler in my generation. Before you got to know me, he has concluded my matter. I am a finished product. If anything is not working in my life, it's not because of you, it is me. Can I still talk to somebody? Before you got here, he knew you. How does he know you? Because before anybody saw you, he has seen you. You existed before you came on board. Because he already made you before you were made. Before you were formed. What does that mean? Before your conception, you already in existence. Before they even knew you, I had anointed you. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, he had created man. The man was before he is. So I was before I am. Oh my God. The man was in existence, but that man was existing inside of God. That man was not existing anywhere else. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 5, the Bible said God was about to send rain but could not send rain because there is need for a man who will till the ground. So I read my Bible, and the Bible said that all creatures are waiting in a next expectation for the manifestation of the sons of God. That means there are sons of God in this meeting who are still under hiding, and the whole nation, the whole creature, the whole race are waiting in a next expectation, because until you manifest, they will not manifest. Don't tell me that your family is crying. Your family is crying because you are not ready to till the ground. If you are ready to till the ground, everything will change today. If God can find a man prepared to till the ground, all the miracles you need will come. If God can find a man ready to till the ground, he said, I want to send rain, but I cannot send rain because there was no man to till the ground. He made a promise of blessing. He said, I will release the blessing. I can release the blessing, but I am looking for a man that will till the ground. If you are in this meeting, anytime there is issue in your family, they will call you. They will disturb you. If anybody is going through anything around you, they will complain to you. Around your compound, they will complain to you. It's an indication that you are the person they are waiting for. What are you going to do? Make up your mind now. I'm the man that will till the ground. Once you are ready to till the ground, God is ready to send the rain. Somebody say, I hear. If you hear me, say, I hear you. Once there's a man ready to till the ground, God is ready to send the rain. Once there's a man ready to till the ground, the man was created, but the man was not on board yet. Until Genesis chapter 2 verse 7 came on board, and my Bible declared that God formed the man. After the formation of man, there was an imputation of the created man inside the formed man. And when the created man entered the formed man, man became a living soul. But again, there has to be the formation to complement the creation. There has to be the formation to complement the creation. The man was created, but yet there was no man. But man was created. How come there was no man? There was no man because the man that was in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 was the created man. And I told you that the word create and the word form are two different things. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, what we saw was that God created man. And I told you to create is to bring something to be without using an already existing material. So when God created man, we were not told that God created man out of anything, because you don't create out of anything. The only thing we saw was that God created man. But in Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, we saw that God formed man out of the dust of the earth. He used an already existing material to form the man. After he formed the man, he gave him everything, but the man was standing, but the man was not a living soul yet, until God made an imputation of the created man into the formed man. Now when the created man entered the formed man, the man became a living soul. When he became a living soul, then the rain can come. Somebody talk to me now. Now, why is it so? Because Isaiah told me that he is the Lord that declares the end from the beginning. Now, what does God do? I tell you how God operates. How does he do it? God in the beginning will leave the beginning and finish the end. He will finish the end before the beginning will begin. God will go to the end, finalize the end. And that is why a lot of people who follow God run into danger, run into problem of not understanding God. Why? God will tell you the end of the matter. He may not tell you the beginning. Neither he may not tell you the process. But God will tell you at the end, I'm going to bless you. At the end, I will lift you. I will make you a voice to many generations. But he may not tell you what you will go through. He may not tell you the process that we get there, because he is the Lord that declares the end from the beginning. He told you how the whole thing will end. He told you where the whole thing is leading to. He didn't tell you how it will begin. He didn't tell you the process you will pass through. But hear this. The promise he made to you carry the end. What he told you is about the end. He is not interested in the beginning. The beginning means so much. That's true. The process means so much. That's true. But he is the one who declares the end from the beginning. Everyone in this meeting today, there is no promise of God over your head that will not come to pass. No power is permitted to kill you before the fulfillment of the promise. You are the only one who can kill yourself. And the only thing that will make you kill yourself is unbelief. Many of us are beginning to give up, thinking and feeling that the promise may never come to pass. I come with a message for you. If he promised you, he will bring it to pass. Hold on. He told you about the end. You are not in the end yet. If you haven't seen the miracle, it means the miracle is coming. If you have not received the answer, it means the answer is coming. If he has not answered you yet, it means he will answer you. Just hold on. Just hold on. Don't give up yet. Don't surrender too early. Don't hang up your hope yet. If the miracle is delaying, it means the miracle is heavy. If he is not giving it now, he won't send the rain now. He knows when you are prepared for a miracle. He knows when you are prepared for a blessing. He said in verse 5 of Genesis chapter 2 that he wants to send rain, but he is withholding the rain. And the reason is that because there was no man to till the ground. And in in verse 7, he formed the man. And when there was man to till the ground, he said, let there be rain. And rain came. Because there was man at that time, I come with a word for you. If God has not blessed you yet, hold on. If he made a promise to your family, hold on. If he made a promise over your head, hold on. Don't surrender yet. For whatever he say he would do, he would do. Every promise he made to you must surely come to pass. I tell you with assurance, if God made any promise to you, hold on, that promise will come to pass. If he said he will lift you, he will lift you. Prophet Isaiah said he is the Lord that declares the end from the beginning. Tell your neighbor, say he declares the end from the beginning. Say he declares the end from the beginning. Jeremiah was not yet in the womb. He said, I anointed you. Jeremiah was not yet born. He said, I anointed you. He said, before you got here, I anointed you a prophet to nations. Jeremiah hadn't got there yet, but there is an anointing over his head as a prophet to nations. Then where was his head? That means his head was even before the mother saw the head. That means he was even before they discovered he was. I said this to you now. You may not know the end, but he knows the end. You may not see the end, but he sees the end. You may not know where it will land, but he knows where it's heading to. That is why he is the Lord that declares the end from the beginning. And I want to say something to you. If God ever prophesied to you about tomorrow, it means you will see tomorrow. No matter what you see today, don't give up on the tomorrow that God promised you. He is not a man that he will lie. He will not start anything that he will not finish. If God said, I will bless you, hold on, he will bless you. No matter what you see on your way, hold on unto the promise, he will not disappoint you. No matter what happens in the course of your life, don't give up on anything that God said to you. It must surely come to pass. And I tell you what will blow your mind. Anytime you are near losing hope, the miracle is nearer. Because if there was no verse 5 of Genesis chapter 2, there may be no verse 7. It was when the need arose that God brought man. He created man in chapter 1 verse 27. Blessed the man already. That was why after Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, he doesn't need to bless again. Because the man have been blessed. And I will explain something to you now. That is why don't you ever focus your attention on your flesh. The flesh is not carrying the blessing.
Yes, Papa. Yes, Papa.
The formed man is not the carrier of the blessing. It is the imputed man, the created man that is the carrier of the blessing. So now hear this. What God blessed was the man inside of you. The you in you that makes you the you that you are. That is the one that is blessed of God. But here what happens. It is that one that carries the blessing. That is why nothing affects you until that one is affected. That is why you cannot die until that one gives up. That is why you can't go down until that one goes down. Your body may be weak, but the spirit is willing. But the spirit is strong. No matter how weak your body is, you cannot die. No matter how terrified your body is, you cannot die. You will only die when the inner man gives up. No matter how fresh the outer man may look, if the inner man gives up, the outer man has no choice. If the inner man gives up, the outer man doesn't have a choice. Because it is the inner man that determines the position of the outer man. Because the one carrying the blessing is the inner man. God has no business with the outer man. Anytime you listen to the formed man, you are putting the inner man in trouble. Because when God wants to deal with, he will deal with the inner man. He has no business with the outer man. Because the outer man came from the dust, and back to the dust it will return. Can I still talk to you? Listen to me now. Don't you ever move by the information of the outer man, because every information of the outer man is anti-God. Everything the outer man is telling you cannot work out the glory of God. The outer man has no business with God. That is why the outer man is only moved by what he sees. And shall I also remind you that the outer man cannot see far. The outer man can only see things within the surface of the dust. The things that ordinary eyes can see. That is why the outer man is moved by the kind of car Mr. B drove to church today. The outer man is moved by the kind of gown that Auntie Eliza wore to church. Those are the things that moves the outer man. But the inner man is not moved, because the inner man is aware that what you are driving today does not matter. That what matters is what is driving me. But in the end, what is driving me will determine what I will drive. Can I talk to you a little bit? The outer man can be moved by the size of your pocket and the size of your bank account today. But the inner man is aware that greater is he that is in me than he that dwells in the world. I'm not moved by what I see today. I am moved by what is loaded on the inside of me. I may not have an account in the bank today, but that is not the conclusion of the matter. The conclusion of the matter is that you may meet me today without having any bank account, but by next year I will become an owner of a bank. He can make anything out of me anytime. So I am not moved today by what I can see. I am moved by the word of God. Can I still talk to you? Can I still talk to you? He declares the end from the beginning. What the outer man sees moves the outer man. But don't you ever focus your attention on the outer man. The outer man is looking for respect, looking for such a time where everybody will bow down and honor the outer man. But can I say this to you? Any honor given to the outer man is an honor that doesn't have the power to last. Because it's like a flower you see in the morning. Before evening, it withers away. Can I say this to you? No matter how old, it is the outer man that gets old. The inner man doesn't get old. I carry a blessing, but the blessing I carry is not in my flesh. It's not in my body. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, that was where God formed the flesh. He formed the flesh out of the dust of the earth, but never said something about the flesh. But in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, God created me. When he created me, in verse 27, the whole of verse 28 was to prepare me. He used the whole of verse 28 to prepare me for tomorrow. He blessed me. He blessed me thoroughly. He blessed me thoroughly. So before the formation, I was already a blessed man. And hear from me. It was because of Genesis chapter 1 verse 28 that Genesis chapter 3 from verse 15 can only favor me. Because in Genesis chapter 3 from verse 15, when God became angry with man after the fall of man, and the Bible said that in Genesis chapter 3 something took place in chapter 3 of the book of Genesis. There was prophecy about the falling of man, and God said to the woman, to the man, "Oh Adam, what is this that you have done? Adam said, not me, but the wife that you gave unto me. And God said, that's fine. And God said to the woman, woman, what is this that you have done? The woman said, not me, but the serpent came and deceived me. And now hear me. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, the serpent was not there. So straight, God went to the serpent and said, you serpent, cursed you shall be. Because anytime you are not blessed, you can be cursed. He went straight to the serpent and said, cursed you shall be. Dust you shall eat all the days of your life. And with your belly shall you roll for the rest of your life. He cursed the serpent directly. Then he faced the woman. When he faced the woman, as he looked at the woman in Genesis chapter 3, what he saw was Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. Once you are blessed, you cannot be cursed. In Genesis chapter 3, he looked at the woman and looked at the woman and looked at the woman. He was very angry, but yet what he said to the woman was that, you woman, I want to curse you, but there is no way I can curse you. He said, out of labor shall you deliver your child. Out of you will deliver your child in pain. Then is that a curse? You will deliver your child in pain, sir. But yet, after delivery, you will forget the pain. The same God said so. And he didn't stop there. When he looked at Adam, in chapter 3 of the book of Genesis, when he looked at Adam, he wanted to place a curse on Adam. Adam, you have broken my heart. Adam, you have done the abominable. Adam, you have done what you shouldn't have done. In chapter 3, he desired to curse Adam, but could not curse Adam because there was chapter 1 verse 28 which came before chapter 3. And because of the verse 28, he looked at Adam and looked at Adam and looked at Adam and said, Adam, I want to curse you, but for your sake I curse the ground. What business do I have with the ground? The ground is different, Adam is different, but he cursed the ground. Oh, malalabala. He said, cursed is the ground. Out of labor shall you eat from the ground. But yet you put him in the Garden of Eden and made him in charge. But you say, cursed is the ground. Oh God, what did the ground do? It is the man that sinned, but he couldn't curse the man. It is the man that did the abominable, but he could not curse the man. I am blessed. You can't curse me. You can't do what God cannot do. You can't go where God cannot go. Help me tell my generation that you can't curse me. I am a blessed man. When I am blessed, no curse can rest on my head. Oh, somebody shout me down if you can. Can I push it a little before I conclude? Can I push it a little before I conclude? That was chapter 1 verse 28 before chapter 3. Don't show me chapter 3. I'm coming from somewhere. I am a finished product. He blessed me thoroughly. He blessed me completely. You can't afford to curse me. You can't afford to do anything about my matter. You can only remove your mouth. Oh, yeah, hear this. In the same chapter 3, God was so angry. But the first thing that God does is that anytime there is a falling, he's already looking for a way to restore me. He's a loving Father. Before we got here, he made a way of escape for every one of us. Don't try to push me down. Don't try to do anything, because before you start it, God will already create a means for my escape, an exit route. In the same chapter 3, he turned to the woman and said, woman, since you were the direct contact between the devil and the man, let me tell you what God does. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, there is one thing that happened there that baffled everybody. Many theologians found that as a big problem, but I will explain it right now and very easy. And what is that? In chapter 1 verse 27, the Bible said he created man. In the image of God created he him. Created he him. That is one. Then the Bible now said male and female created he them. Now hear what happened. That is why nobody has been able to explain. When the Bible was now describing the formation and the bringing out of the woman, the Bible said that God made the man to sleep. As he slept, God did not bring a new thing. He brought from inside the man. So that means when he was creating the man, he created the woman inside the man. So the woman is not a different person from the man. That is why the name given to her was not any other name but man. Her name is man. In theology, both man and woman are being addressed as man. In human discussion, in every language of the earth, both man and woman are being addressed as man. Now hear this, and what do I mean? The English word woman simply means a man with womb. Woman is coined out from the word womb man. Womb man. That means he's a man, but the only difference is that she has womb. Is somebody still alive in this place? The only difference is that she has womb. So what God created was a man, but he made a difference by making one a womb man. Now hear this. When he came to the woman in Genesis chapter 3, he said, woman, for what you have done, there will be enmity between you and the serpent. There will be enmity between you and the serpent, but there will be no fight. You and the serpent can only be enemies, but the both of you will not fight. There will be no confrontation. There will be no battle of any kind, but there's going to be enmity. You will be in enmity with the serpent, and that is why the devil hates women. Anytime he lays his hands on them, he wants to use them. There is an existing enmity between the serpent and the woman. But it only stops at enmity. The woman and the serpent cannot fight. And God moved it further. God said, there will be enmity between your seed and her seed. That is to say, any child that come out of the womb of the woman is an enemy to every child of the devil. That is why you cannot be a Christian and expect them to love you. If you are a Christian and the people of the world love you, your Christianity is questionable. It is not a thing of pride that as you see me here, they love me, oh, everywhere. Oh. Even bad people love me. The native doctor in our village don't used to joke with me. You are a stupid person. You don't know what you are talking about. It means you are not a good Christian. If you are a good Christian, they must hate you. But the only thing is that they cannot touch you. Because you are permitted to be enemies, but you are not permitted to fight. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. There is enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent, but there is no fight between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. There is no fighting. We don't fight with them. We don't argue with them. That is why we don't go against them with weapons. We don't go against them with battles, because we know that it can only end in enmity. But the battle is for one person. And where is the battle? In Genesis chapter 3, he now declared. Number 1, pick it from where it started. There will be enmity between you and the serpent, but no fight. Between your seed and his seed, but there will be no fight. But your seed and the serpent will fight. And Jesus is the seed of the woman. Jesus is the seed of the woman. That is why in the book of Genesis, Jesus is referred to as the seed of the woman. In Genesis, Jesus is called the seed of the woman. He said, your seed will not fight the seed of serpent, but will fight serpent directly. And hear what he said. He said, your seed will fight him. He will bruise the feet of your seed, and your seed will bruise his head. Upon the cross of Calvary, he bruised the feet of Jesus. And what does it mean to bruise the feet? To bruise the feet is to inflict him with harm that he will recover from. On the cross of Calvary, he bruised the feet of Jesus, and Jesus was buried. On the third day, he recovered from it. He recovered from the bruise. He recovered from the injury. And when he recovered from the injury, he said, it is finished. How did it finish? It is finished because I have bruised his head. What does it mean to bruise the head of the serpent? To bruise the head of the serpent is to inflict him with harm he will not recover from. And after Jesus rose again, he said the keys of the kingdom has been given unto me. The keys, I now have the keys. It is not returning back to the devil anymore. It is not returning back to the serpent anymore. For the keys of the kingdom is now in my hand. But before the battle, there was a boasting by the devil which Jesus never challenged. Before the boasting, the devil called Jesus and said, come here. The Bible says he taketh him. He took him to the mountain, and in the course of testing him, he said, bow down and worship me, and I will give you the kingdom of the earth, for it has been given to me. It has been handed over to me. I have it. I have the power. If you worship me now, I'll give it to you. Jesus said, I don't want to talk about that. Jesus didn't talk about that. Jesus only talked about worship. Jesus said you are not qualified to receive worship. This was what brought you down from heaven when you desired in your heart to sit upon the throne that looks like that of God. When he came into your heart, that was what brought you down. Jesus said you are not qualified to receive worship. There is only one person that is qualified to receive worship, and that is my Father who is in heaven. Thou shalt not bow down to worship any other God. I will not worship you. But Jesus never argued that the power was in his hands. He was called the God of this world. He was a God in the world because the power, the keys were in his hands. He boasted with the keys, and Jesus never challenged it. That means the keys were in his hands. When he bruised the feet of Jesus, according to Genesis chapter 3, Jesus died on the cross of Calvary. Bruising his feet was not palatable. Bruising his feet was not a good one. It was a painful one. It was so painful that Jesus said, my Father, why have you forsaken me? It was critical. It was so serious that Jesus said, if it be possible, I don't want to pass through it anymore. But Jesus knew something. He said to the Father, but not my will, let thy will be done. And the will of the Father took place, that he went through it. His feet was bruised. He died the death of the cross. On the third day he recovered, and when he recovered, he declared to us, what the devil boasted of last time is now in my hands. He said, the keys of the kingdom of heaven and the kingdoms of the earth has been given to me. I have the keys right about now, but we will not make mistake again. We will not hand over that key to anybody. We handed it over to Adam. Adam surrendered it to the devil. It took Jesus to come and die before the key was able to be recovered. After recovering the key, heaven made an agreement that that key will never be given to one man again. Now, see what God does. See what God does. He will not give your own key to Pastor Frank. You didn't hear me? Let me tell you what the key is all about, so that if you want to shout, you will shout. In the book of Job, chapter 2, I saw the key. The Bible said when the sons of God gathered, it was that key that qualified the devil to come. He entered the meeting because of the key. And when he entered the meeting because of the key in his hand, he didn't enter the meeting as an archangel. Because as at that time, he was no longer an archangel. He was fallen archangel. And once you fall, you lose your rights. From the time he fell, he was no longer qualified to stand before God. But when he collected the key from Adam, he was qualified not just to stand before God, but he was standing face to face before the seat of the dunamis of heaven. When he entered the meeting, he took a seat where no angel can talk, because we are higher than angels. By our formation and our making, we are not like angels. Angels are only spirit and the ends there. But we are made in the image and likeness of God. No angel looks like God, but I look like God. God is Trinity. I am a tripartite human being. God is God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. I am spirit, soul, and body. Am I sure I'm talking to you? Now, when he took the key, he entered the meeting not as archangel. He entered the meeting as a representative of humanity, which has an integral part in the person of God. Because we are created in the image of God. It was that key that made him appear in the book of Job chapter 2. He appeared in the meeting. And when he appeared in the meeting, he took over. Because when you're on top, you become a topic. When he appeared in the meeting, every discussion was dominated by him. As soon as he entered the meeting, he did not greet God. I read my Bible very well. He did not greet God. He never greeted God. He did not greet any archangel. He did not greet any angel. Even the angel that pushed him down from heaven saw him in the meeting but could not talk. Because the power with which he entered the meeting was more than the power with which he was operating when he was there. He entered the meeting. Archangel Michael saw him but could not talk. Angel Gabriel saw him but could not talk. Raphael was looking at him. The host of angels were looking at him. They were looking at him but they couldn't say a thing, because he is coming in the level of another God. For in the book of Psalm, he told me that ye are gods. Eh? Come on now. Somebody's feeling one kind. Can I push it a little? Or I should close now? Should I close now? Now hear this. When he appeared in the meeting, it was God who turned around and said to him, where are you coming from? And he answered God anyhow. He didn't give God a specific answer. He said, I'm coming from the earth now, moving up and down in it. I don't have address. The earth is my own. I'm moving up and down. I'm moving anywhere I like on the earth. I'm moving everywhere. He didn't tell God any particular address. He said, I'm moving. Go and read your Bible. He said, I'm moving everywhere. I'm moving up and down on the earth. Have you forgotten that the earth is my own now? As we are talking, the earth is my own. So you are in charge of heaven. I'm in charge of the earth. Why? In Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, God gave man the power to dominate. The power to occupy. The power to control. The power to be in charge. And God cannot put you in charge and still be in charge of you. When he put you in charge, you are in charge. So all the powers that were given to man in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, man handed over to the devil, and the devil made good use of it. And in the book of Job, he said to God, I'm coming from the earth, from moving up and down in it, because I'm the man in charge. The earth is my own. And the Bible called him the God of this world. He was the God of this world. That was the key that I'm talking about. It was that key with which he appeared before God. God became helpless. Oh, come on, theologians, permit me. Let me preach a little. God became helpless. I will tell you how God became helpless. God could not discuss his agenda for the meeting, because any agenda he discussed, the devil would carry it. God turned around and said to the devil, yeah, now. That was how Job ran into trouble. And God turned around and said, have you considered my servant Job? Everybody have failed me, but I still have a man. Every other person have disappointed me, but I have somebody. Have you considered my servant Job? That was how Job entered into trouble. And the devil turned to God and said, you think Job love you? The way that guy was talking to God, then you will know the power that you carry. My generation, hear me. I cannot carry this power and you will pocket me. I can't be in charge and be a beggar. Oh, come on, somebody, forgive me, but I need to say it here. How can I carry a tequila and still be under? How can I carry the grace and still you want to pocket me? You cannot pocket me, I will not let you. When the devil used this power, that guy, he know how to use power. That is why I told you, you can say anything about him, you can't say he's a stupid man. That guy know his right too. He know his right too well. When he had that power, God said, have you considered my servant Job? He said to God, you think that guy fear you? The only reason that guy is doing the way he's doing is because of the edge you put over him. For the devil to know that there is an edge over him, he had tried him. But can I say this to you? Why will he try him among others? Anytime he see you as a threat, he will try you. That is why any child of God that is loved by the devil, your own child of God is questionable. He should not love you. He cannot love you. Because darkness and light cannot work together. He said to God, the reason Job is acting like that is because of the edge you put on him. It's because of the protection you gave him. If you remove that protection now, then that guy will curse you. Can I say this to you? And that was when God turned around and said, okay, oh yeah, I'm going to remove the covering from him. I'm going to remove the covering from all his properties. Because as a child of God, there is covering over my property. There is covering over my children. How do I know? The Bible said that the rod of the wicked will not rest upon the lot of the righteous. And the lot of the righteous is the properties of the righteous. He said the rod of the wicked will not rest upon the lot, upon the properties of the righteous. Why? Because the righteous himself is also a dangerous man. But hold on, that's a preach for another day. He said that the rod of the wicked will not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put their hands into iniquity. Because they say, well, you will deal with him, he will put his hands into iniquity. So God said, it will not rest upon the lot of the righteous, so that the righteous will not put their hands into iniquity. So there is a covering over the righteous and his property. And the devil tried it and could not touch him. And the devil said to God, it is because of the covering that he loved you. God said, no, he loved me not because of what I can do. God is looking for people who will love him, not because of what he can do for them, but who will love him for who he is. I don't love God because I have food. If I have food, I love him. If I don't have food, I love him. I don't love God because I own a car. If I own a car, I love him. If I don't own a car, I love him still. If there is money in my pocket, I love him. If there is no money in my pocket, I love him. I don't love him because of what he can do for me. I love him because of who he is. If I'm alive, I love him. If I'm dead, I love him. I don't love him because of what I can get. That is why God said he is looking for worshipers who will worship him in spirit and truth. He's not looking for sycophants. He is not looking for mediocres. Thank you, sir. He's looking for true worshipers. I love him anyhow. I love him when there is food. I love him when there is no food. I love him when there is water. I love him when there is no water. I love him when it is going well. I love him at rough times. I love him anyhow. When I'm sick, I love him. When I'm healthy, I love him. I love him in my hardship. I love him in my season of supplies. I just love him. Somebody say, I love him. I just love him. I just love him. My love for God is not determined by what I see. My love for God is not determined by the happenings around me. I just love him. The devil turned around and said to God, Job loved you because of the protection you put around him. God said it's not true. He loved me for real. The devil said it's not true. Remove that covering now. You will see what he will do to you. And that showed me what the devil can do. And God said, oh yeah, I'm removing the covering. But there is somewhere I will not remove. I will remove the covering from everything that has to do with him. But I will still keep the covering over his soul. I won't let you touch that one. I won't let you touch the soul, because the soul speaks for the end. And ladies and gentlemen, immediately God said so. In less than 5 minutes, as I read my Bible, the result was terrible. The Bible said while Job was sitting, they came to him and said, Job, you know what? Every of your property gone. All your children gone. The Bible said when this person come to report to Job, as they are reporting, before that one will leave, another will enter. As that one is about to leave, another will enter. All negative reports. And by each of them, Job will say, God give it, God take it away. Glory be. Oh, God give it, God take it away. But glory be to the name of God. Can I say this to you? The devil killed all the children of Job, but didn't kill the wife of Job. Can I tell you the reason? Can I quickly tell you the reason? The devil does not kill those in his camp. That is why I tell you that anytime the wicked like you as a Christian, you have an issue with God. Your Christianity is questionable. If not, when the devil was killing, the wife of Job should be the first person to kill, that it will touch him. But the wife of Job was left alive because the wife of Job is an agent. All the children were killed. All the children were killed. Every property of Job killed, but the wife was alive to the end.
Yes, Papa. Yes, Papa.
Come, you have not discovered? Why was she there? She was there preaching the gospel of the devil. What was she preaching? She was the one who told Job, curse God and die. So she is helping the activity of the devil. And the devil knows those who are helping his activity. So he will not kill them in a hurry. So anytime the devil is not attacking you, I know who you are. Anytime the devil is not attacking you, you are attacking God. Because anytime you become a friend to the devil, then you are free from devilish attacks so that you will fulfill his mandate. But hold on, your own punishment will be worse. Because if the devil punish you, God will save you. If man punish you, God will save you. But when God punish you, who will save you? I think I should close now. Of her work for the devil, she told Job, can't you see your condition? When the devil was killing, he didn't touch the friends of Job. There are friends hanging around you who are no friends. Anytime a friend begins to give you evil advice, walk away. That friend is not a friend. They don't die quickly, because the devil is not attacking them. Most times they will want to use themselves to compare with you. She will tell you, can't you see me? Why is it that every time you're having problem, you're having problem? Me, I'm not having any problem. So why don't you be like me? The reason you are not having problem is that the devil want to use you to get me. But he can't get me. Problem is one of the promises. For many are the afflictions of the righteous. For many, for many are the afflictions of the righteous. But there is another thing I'm waiting for. There is another stanza. But afflictions of the righteous. Don't conclude it yet. But the Lord delivered him from them. In Job chapter 42, I saw a reason to worship God the more. In Job chapter 42, my Bible said that the latter end of Job was better than the former. In everything, it was better. It was better. If the Lord allowed them to take it away from me, he has a better one to give you. I will not give up because they took this one away, because the one that is coming is better than the one they took away. I won't give up because they took anything away. Oh, take it and go. The one that is coming is better than the one you took away. If God allowed you to do it, he allowed it to test my faith. And I need to prove to God that, God, you got somebody in me. I need to prove to God that, God, you have a man in me. I need to prove to God that you can trust me, O Lord. I need to prove to God that you can trust me, O Lord. But thank God for a man like Job. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not easy to do what Job did. Let me tell you one of the worst things that happened to Job. One of the worst things that happened to Job was not the dying of his children. Neither was it his properties that he lost. Neither was it the animals that died. One of the worst things that happened to Job was the people around him. His friends gathered around him. And every friend of his at that time that was left alive said to Job, curse God and die. His wife turned around, the only member of his immediate family that was still alive, the only one remaining. The wife turned around and said, curse God and die. I have decided to be a widow. It is not a problem. I have made up my mind. Instead of this condition you are in now, I want to be a widow and let it happen quickly. Curse God and die now. So that means, you know, if I don't curse God, I will not die. How did the wife know that if he didn't curse God, he will not die? Do you now agree with me that the wife was an agent? If she was not an agent, who informed her that if he cursed God, that's the only time he will die? Because the devil has no right to take his life. The wife have watched him and said, the way this man is going, the way everything is happening, I don't think this man will die. I don't think this man will die. This man is going through a lot of things, but this man doesn't look like somebody who is dying today or tomorrow. And if this man is still alive, people will say, my husband is there. And this man, as far as I'm concerned, is a useless man. Oga, die now. But I have discovered that the only way for you to die is to curse God. Job said, I will not curse God. They pushed Job and pushed Job and pushed him. Job said, okay, you want me to curse? They say, yes. Job said, I cursed the day I was born. They say, it's not that one. We say, curse God. Job said, it's not true. I will not curse him. They say, curse God. Job said, I will never curse God. But they didn't know that chapter 42 was coming. When chapter 42 came, he made matters clear. Everyone in this house, hold your peace. What you're going through today does not matter. If you are not going through tough times, then nothing good is coming. If there are challenges, it is because there is promotion coming. If there are troubles, it is because there is something good coming. If the devil is fighting your family, go and give thanks. If the devil is fighting your family, give the highest offering. If the devil is fighting your business, give the highest offering. If the devil is fighting your home, give the highest offering. It's an indication that your miracle is coming. That the devil is fighting you does not mean that God is not on your side. Let him fight you. Let him battle it anyhow. One thing is sure, it will end in praise. Promotion is on the way. You are a finished product. God said you are blessed, so no man can say you are cursed. God said it is well with you. Nobody can say it is not well with you. what you're seeing in your dreams, from what is happening around you, this pregnancy, the devil has a plan. The devil has a program. But I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in me?
Very much, sir.
Do you believe in me?
Yes, sir.
Your life is being threatened in this pregnancy. And you know it. Eh?
Yes, sir.
Everything happening around you is pointing to the fact that this pregnancy wants to take your life. I want to call it as it is.
Yes, sir.
I ask you a question. Listen. Your faith was doing like this before. I allowed you. This is not the first time God is showing it to me. It has been happening to you repeatedly. There is something about the man that you are looking at. I see more, I talk less. Because of the way your faith was doing, I didn't want to talk all this while. I was just watching you. I'm happy. I don't know what happened, but some kind of joy just came on me while in this place right now. And that is the reason many of you in this service will benefit a lot today. I know what has been going on in your heart. Your heart is full of fears that you will die.
Yes, sir.
I know. You are the husband, right? You have been long in this church. You people are not new. You are one of the people that started this church from the beginning. So don't think I don't know you. I know you. In the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 20 verse 20, the Bible said, believe in the Lord and you'll be established. Believe in his prophet that you may prosper. You don't need to come to me for me to know what you are going through. I know. I don't need you to tell me. I have an eye that can see in the realm of the spirit. Anybody can argue anything. Nobody can argue the fact that Talknado carry power. You can only say you don't know where the power is coming from. But the power I carry is undeniable. You can't deny it. If you deny it, I will show it to you. You have forgotten where we are coming from. You both have forgotten that the enemy said you will not have a child. I was the one who, through the word of prophecy, that opened her womb to deliver the first one. Most times, people forget in a hurry. But do you know what? There is something about the devil and where we are. Most times when you forget, you don't forget people like us. Because what I carry is spiritual. You will need me. If I keep quiet now, she will die. That's why I'm not going to be quiet. And look at how God makes it work. Today, just all at a sudden, a kind of joy just came on me. And you know, I don't pretend I'm an open book. If I'm happy, you know I'm happy. Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten your tears? Have you forgotten your weeping? It was this same man who stood my ground and called the both of you. It was this same man who said that day that I put my call on the line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember my words. What happened? But now,
Amen.
I will still not let you die.
Amen.
Out of the joy in my heart, I step in now.
Amen.
I stop the spirit of death.
Amen.
And the tormentor.
Amen.
You have been tormented.
Sir.
You've been down. You have seen a lot in this pregnancy. I've been watching you. I've been seeing you. I've been watching. I've been seeing you. Anytime the devil wants to kill you, he will make you find a fault in where you should get help. Anytime you begin to find a fault in me, danger is looming. Stand up. Go and deliver your baby. Go and be alive. You will not die in this pregnancy. Go.
It's a Ramaruzo, Mama. Baby, Mama. Chilema kusuni lekenda, Mama. Chukuna zame bere, Mama. On the money no bibo, Mama. It's a Ramaruzo, Mama. On the money no bibo, Mama. Chukuna zame bere, Mama. Mama, Chuku, ide mi, we say the top of soul. In a chase, anywhere you are, we can let you go back. What is a key, Guru? Oh, look at it down, everybody go now. It's Rama Rosa, Mama. Onye naza bebere, Mama. Okay, come and get the baby, Mama. Odi madi no bibo, Mama. Okay, come and get the baby, Mama. Jiwa kusuni legenda, Mama.
For you to give birth to this child, they told you that something went wrong with your womb.
It's true, sir.
They called your husband to come and sign,
Yes,
so that
sir.
they can remove your womb as you deliver the baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They cut off your womb. Hear this, hear this. Any human error in your life, you are going to see power. Hold on. Everyone in this house, get ready now. Impossibilities are becoming possible. Every human error that took away anything from you, God will put it right now. Onya hasi na akpa nwa ya nwụrụ anwụ, ebube na-eweta akpa nwa ọzọ. That person whose womb they said is there, that person without a womb, like this our sister whose womb they removed, saying it has gone so bad, it's risky to keep it there, she might lose her life. It's a lie. Somebody say lie. A new womb will show up right now. Kidney failure is not part of the promise. Receive a new one. From my left hand side, from my right hand side, before me, upstairs, downstairs, inside, outside, wherever you are, by the power of God, receive it. I will blow the mind of the doctor that did the operation, that removed your womb. A new womb is coming.
Amen.
Tell your husband the discussion himself and his family is having over looking for another wife because he can't have only one child. Tell him to cancel that arrangement, that a new womb has come.
Amen.
You people should get ready. You will have as many children as you want to have.
Amen.
Upon this altar, I will stand to rejoice with you. This case is hereby settled. Go and bring me your son. Wherever he is, bring him. Wherever he is. Come to me. Give me your hand. The cause that is generational will never, upon the altar that I stand, that cause will never rest on you. The generational curse that said your fathers will not raise their heads, and it has existed from generation to generation in your time. Before you look at it, the curse will not see you. I come to your generation. I curse the curse. What you don't know will not know you. Your great grandfather was cursed. It came upon your grandfather. And now your father here is struggling with the curse. But you will not see it at all. I stand as a prophet to my generation. I put my head to your head. I revoke this curse. You know that you have seen some things.
Yes, sir.
A lot has happened to you.
Yes, sir.
You can't tell the story of what is happening to you.
Yes, sir.
Everything you saw on the negative is a product of this curse. But this one will not sight it.
Amen.
His eyes will not see the curse.
Amen.
I stand in his generation.
Amen.
I sit in the gap between him and the curse.
Amen.
I separate him from it completely.
Amen.
That is the curse that made you one. That is the curse that want to make him one. But I say no.
Amen.
If you believe
That I believe.
in what I carry,
That I believe.
and you purge yourself of every doubt, today will begin a day of rejoicing in your life. You have struggled under a curse. The man standing before you, I'm the carrier of the prophetic mandate of the God of Talknado. Hear this. The sanctification of the sanctified can sanctify he that was not satisfied and that was not sanctified. By my sanctification, I have the spiritual right to put to flight the curse in your life.
Amen.
That is what running under spiritual cover does for people.
Thank you, sir.
The only thing people struggle with is the state of our hearts. If our heart can be right, anything can be right. But let me say this. I will show you sample.
Yes, Daddy.
You have boasted with this commission.
Yes, Daddy.
You have said some things with the name of this commission.
Yes,
Today,
Daddy.
Talknado, I show you power. This cause will cease to operate now
Amen.
till you will see laughter.
Amen.
After you see the laughter, come and see me. I'm the man carrying the prophetic mandate of the God of Talknado.
The thing way past man picking no.
Over your head, my son. The good news is that you are not up to 18. Sitting in the place of my office, by my decision as a prophet of high function, according to the word of God, the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. I have a spiritual right to do what I want to do. Oga, look at me. Look at me. Something has been disgracing you in the spirit of epilepsy.
Exactly, sir.
But God gave you a gift. That gift runs in your family. You people can help people with broken bones, anything bone.
It's true.
It runs in your family.
Yes, sir.
You don't learn it. Every one of you know how to treat bone.
Exactly, sir.
But you can't make a living out of it.
Not.
You can't do it. Anytime it looks like you are about to succeed in life, this epilepsy will disgrace you.
Yes, sir.
Eh?
Help my life, sir.
Come. Go back. Oh, yeah, raise him up. Try to raise him. Try. Two of you keep trying. Keep trying. The Bible declared that when he turned again, the captivity of Zion, we were like them that were dreaming. Two of you keep trying. You people don't have power. Keep trying. Keep trying. Power mightier than I has come upon me. Keep trying. Power. Try. Bulia. Carry him up now. Heavy weight is pressing you down. Where is the weight coming from? Oh yeah, wake him up. Wake him up. Wake him up. Oh no, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, raise him now. Check if there is a difference.
Mighty God, hallowed be your name. Faithful God, you are worthy to receive.
For the rest of your life, tell your family to resume the arrangements that they were doing before to make you travel abroad. For the rest of your life, there will be nothing like epilepsy again.
Amen.
It will not repeat again.
Amen.
Go to anywhere. The things they ask you not to eat, eat them. Anything they ask you not to do before, do them. They are afraid of you traveling. Travel to anywhere. Do anything. It will never happen again.
Amen.
Look at me. Look at me. This is the man carrying the prophetic mandate of the God of Talknado. Listen, if we cross October, October is the highest dangerous month the enemy has for you. I will say this to you. Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. Listen to me very carefully. Look at me and rewind back. Every struggle you have gone through this year and this season, I see them all. If you were not here, you would have died long ago.
I know, sir. I know, sir.
You would have been forgotten in the grave.
I know, sir.
What is happening to you now? 2 years before it started, I called you inside my office and I said to you, in your life, do me a favor. I said to you, don't you ever allow fear. Can you remember? Think. If you can't remember, tell me. Can you remember I told you something about fear?
Yes, sir. You told me, sir.
Eh?
You told me, sir.
If you don't remember, tell me. I will tell you the circumstance.
I remember when you told me about fear.
You remember when I told you about fear?
Yes, sir.
Now listen. Who is a prophet? I am a prophet. I tell you things before they happen. I tell you things ahead of time. I knew we will get to where we are now. And I knew that the entering point of the devil will be fear. I told you 2 years before that time, I warned you about fear. Let me also say this to you. I didn't tell you about fear once. At a time, those days, not now, those days, you were very close to me.
Yes.
Is
Daddy.
it true?
Yes, Daddy.
Your husband was very close to me. You were very close to me. There is something I keep repeating to you. That thing is, don't be afraid. Another thing is that I will ask you, I said, do you know me?
Yes, Daddy.
And you say yes. I said, if you know me, don't be afraid. The reason for these two things is because of what is happening today.
Daddy, help
Today,
me.
see what we do every day.
Help me, Daddy.
Every day we are in a battle over your life.
Daddy, help me. Please.
Every midnight, we keep battling over your life.
Daddy, I don't know how
They
to
will
help
drag you, I
myself.
will drag you. They will drag you, me, I will drag you. But there is something you don't fail to do. You keep calling me.
Yes, Daddy.
You keep calling me.
Yes, Daddy.
At a time, I wanted to remove my hand.
Oh, Daddy.
That was when it became critical. I am an open book. When I wanted to remove my hand was when you joined those who talk about me.
Daddy, I
Calm down. You were not talking,
Talking.
but you were listening.
hearing. I heard. I didn't talk. Daddy, thank you.
Listen, I am Talknado.
Yes, Daddy.
I may be quiet, but don't think I don't know them.
I didn't talk.
When you were in that company, they would discuss and talk about me and talk about me. Listen to me. What you don't know is that where a man is not, his spirit is.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I am not like you. I am on a special mission.
Yes, sir.
Since all of this struggle, I have only fought at the middle of the night when it looks like you will lose your life. Your husband, I don't joke with your husband, but over this your matter, he saw another side of me. The night I decided to let you go, he cried like a child. As he was crying and was calling me, I saw his call, I didn't answer. But when he began to cry, where I am, I don't need to be where you are to see what is going on. When he began to cry like a baby, I saw your husband crying like a baby. That was when I released the pin that pinched to your heart and your heart pained you. It was not the devil doing that one, it was Talknado. I pinned your heart. That was when I dragged back your heart. And I didn't want to talk. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Thank you.
If we cross October, we have won. But I said this to you. From this moment, I don't know why I am happy. That's why I'm talking. I don't talk. I don't talk over things like this. I will just keep you quiet and I watch you. I'm glad today. Listen, anybody can say anything. There is power in this place.
I know it.
There is power you cannot doubt.
Daddy, I can't.
As you go through it in the night, at the middle of the night, while the struggle is on, I am watching. If you want, I will tell you the times of the critical ones. I was watching. When your husband began to cry like a baby, in his heart, you were gone. And that day you would have gone. I made up my mind to release you. Said, let her just go.
Daddy, please don't.
The reason is, listen. What you were supposed to do long ago, you did recently. When you picked your things and ran away. You can't stay in the company that talk against the oil and expect to benefit from the oil. All the oil you gathered before, once you begin to find yourself in that company, they will begin to dry. When they are drying, you may think nothing is happening. But listen, any amount of money you keep anywhere and begin to spend it, it will one day finish. And I will allow you, I will give you time for it to finish. By the time the oil dry, Then Gamana na mmiri ọkụ ji egbu mbe. One strike and the story will be off. If not for Talknado, you will not be breathing now.
It's true, sir. It's true, sir.
When it gets critical, sometimes when I'm in my good mood, I will answer you. When I'm not in my good mood, I will not answer you. But there is one story you will live to tell, and your husband will testify to. Anytime I answer you, immediately you will slip off. That is why I am different. I do not carry words only. For the gospel that I preach is not gospel of words only. It is gospel of power. If I talk, immediately I talk, you will slip off. And you will sleep well. There will be calmness. But if I turn my back, everything will scatter. Listen to me now. The month of October is a dangerous month. They have marked it that you will not cross October. But hear this. Can you calm down? Hear this. Hear this. Calm down. Calm down now. Calm down now. All manner of things have been going on.
It's true.
I will show you sample. When I show you the sample, it will be clear to you where you belong. Allow me. I want to fight this battle till October will be over. When October is over, now listen. No matter how tough it is, let us fight it to the end of October. But for you to be alive, to see the end of October,
Yes, sir.
don't sight me, hold me.
Daddy, please, I'm holding
If you hold me, you will see the end of October. But I will show you sample now.
everything that I'm made up of. Daddy, please. Don't let go. I'm holding you, please.
Oh yeah, stop, stop, stop. There is a young man standing there that just raised his right hand up. You are standing. You just raised your right hand up. You live at Lagos. You came from Lagos. Did you just raise your right hand? You did. Your destiny is under satanic bottle. You have struggled, nothing is working. You are not supposed to be like this now. Anywhere you put your hand must close. Anything you try to do will not work. As you raised your hand there, you know what I saw? I saw thick black charcoal. That was what you were raising up. That is why anywhere you go, you suffer rejection. Reason you don't know. Who brought you here?
My sister.
Your sister brought you. Come. As he raised his hand, what I saw was thick, dark charcoal. And the Lord said to me, that is how his ways has been. Anywhere he faces, nothing works. Above all, there is a demon spirit assigned against him, dragging him to the mud. This man here is under spiritual shame. There is nothing he will do on his own to make progress. He has tried. He can never make progress except something is done. And what can be done, he cannot do. For he cannot help himself. That is what I'm going to do now.
Amen.
Today, I call upon the God that lives beyond the firmaments. I call upon the God that controls the universe. I call upon the God that is higher than all.
Amen.
Over your head.
Amen.
As I speak now, that bottle will scatter.
Amen.
You will come out of it free.
Amen.
You will come out of it free.
Amen.
Between today and Thursday, go and buy small native goat. Native goat. You know what a native goat is?
Yes, sir.
Go and buy native goat.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in this church?
Daddy, since I started this commission under this place.
You have been here.
Yes, sir.
So you have been here years with us.
Yes, sir. I've been
What
here,
I'm
yes.
saying now, I have not said to anybody before.
Yes, sir.
I have never asked anybody to do this thing before.
Yes, sir.
It has never left my mouth before. But your brother is coming here for the first time.
Yes, sir.
They used the goat to exchange for his destiny. The goat was tied and kept at a stake till the goat died. And so long as that goat remained tied, he is like goat without help, without food, without assistance of any kind. He prayed a dangerous prayer and he saw the goat in his dream, but he doesn't know the interpretation. Get a goat.
Yes, sir.
You know what I just said now. It happened in your dream. That thing, God was showing you what they used in exchange for your destiny. Since 2011, this was done. And since that time till today, your brother's ways have been blocked. If he is
sir.
truly
True,
your
sir.
brother,
He's
go.
my brother, he is.
He is your brother.
Yes, sir.
Look for goats. Don't buy he goats, buy she goats.
Okay, sir.
Bring it here.
Yes,
Drop it at the altar.
yes, sir.
Tie the two front legs. Drop it here.
Yes, sir.
My brother, open me your hand. This was the hand you lifted. And I saw thick black charcoal. Now, as you leave Abba and you return back to your station, the ways that blocked before will open.
Amen.
As your sister will bring the goat, I will collect the goat in the replacement of the one they have. I will release you free.
Amen.
Anywhere you go now, you will be accepted.
Amen.
God bless you. He can fight for you when you can't fight for yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you are confused, at the point where you don't know what else to do,
Hey!
he can just step in and make a way even where there seems to be no way.
Yes, sir. I believe you,
I don't
sir.
know why he turned me back, but I see a garment of shame, and the Lord said, remove this garment of shame.
Hey!
I see garment of shame. It's so thick, strong, and the worst of it all is that the garment I saw is gumming. It wants to stick, but it will not stand.
Amen!
I remove out of you this garment of shame.
Amen!
Motorum chimobimo. Thank you for watching our program. The Lord bless you. It's another season of blessing for you. I want to give you a special invitation. This week, Thursday, I want you to meet me at the dwelling place of the God of Talknado, kilometer 72, ABIA PORTHARCOURT Express Road, ABIA, ABIA State, Nigeria. I'll be there live and you won't regret coming. On Friday, meet me at the dwelling place of the God of Talknado in the city of PORTHARCOURT, Rivers State, Nigeria. The address is showing at your screen right now. Meet me. I'll be there in the volume of the book that is waiting of me. And you cannot live the same way you came. On Sunday is the bomb. It's a prophetic super service. It's a service you can't afford to miss. There's a word from God just for you. God bless you. I love you and remain on top. You are blessed. Something mega from Omega. This is another kind of meeting. You can't afford to mix this one. 7 days of prophetic encounter with the God of Talknado. Something mega from Omega. Come and experience the God who will give to you something mega from Omega. Meet me there.